As we are once again alive upon the internet. Let's make sure that we are, with me having changed all the titles and set to public and everything's having bit rates and my audio not being out of sync. Everything looks good. And yeah, let's jump into this character. First things first, we're gonna work a little bit on this one, the Umbra spreadsheet for the showcase. Glad we're on the Umbra character that has Umbra. Should get a mask, although it's craftable, right? Umbra did have all of its crafting blueprints. Right. Yeah, so. And yeah, we have enough parts to do that. Because yeah, we might make a... Oh, that might be actually an interesting comparison. Because we've already made a little bit of a thing here. So let's actually maybe start coloring all this in the way I generally do. Let's go, yeah. Let's go with some of these colors for Umbra. I feel. Sure. Make them look good for when we use them. It's still better. So here again, it's. Oh, but then this is. Yeah. Is there a better
materials? I really should make myself a nice comfy chair.
A way of showing this? Because we could put these in between this. That might make more sense because they would be side by side. Also, no, first I want to show its damage, and then we can kind of discuss the difference between that and Cheska. And then especially the Cheska version kind of loses out here. And then we have some start, yeah. That makes, yeah. It makes good enough sense. But then let's make these maybe like this purple. That purple. And this one can be this purple again. And this one can be the other purple again. Here we go. And striker.
I should try making leather.
You really should, Inaya. Let me know how that goes. I'll use red And even darker red for strikers. Now maybe what I do just for visually making it distinct, make the outer line here. We'll make an outer line here. It's kind of segmenting it that way. Makes it visually a little clearer, I think, right? It's back to normal. Okay. Now comes the question, what else do we kind of, because we could go a ton of different ways, because I don't want to do too much here, because also, you know, it eats time in the thing. Because this is the important one, kind of explaining why we go, you know, specific weapon damage. Over.
Really wish I had a complete set of socket wrenches.
Oh, the other we compare to striker. Because yeah, Umbra is kind of good as well for as an option for. I'm gonna go to the other crafting table. Inai is annoying. Who knew? Everybody knows. Yeah, let's use this one instead. Because we could compare it with rifles and stuff. Maybe. And I did dream. Wait then for leveling the watch wheel. Nice. Yeah, I need to do one of those as well. Likely next week we'll get one of those in. Or maybe even tomorrow, because actually I need to do 2 runs at some point. And yeah, I want to also get these things ready so that it is. Also, I did see your DM, but I didn't read it yet. Was I said it was pretty in depth. I was like, I'll read it later so I can give it the time. Did I fix all of this up already? Okay, this is all fixed up. Good. One that I definitely want to have is having the mask. Although maybe I should go do a countdown later on, but we can already do it stat-wise and stuff, because honestly, the stats are pretty simple for it. But yeah, doing Coyote versus that glove. I think that glove actually might be a good idea with Umbra. Because yeah, you're standing out kind of, you know, out in the open. You can kind of abuse the glove that way. Because if you have this, let's say, as well, I don't care. The weapon damage will be the same, but I mean, actually, everything will be the same. We just you lose the Coyote. Talent. 11 here. So we are kind of like these. It's the same 52, right? So we can take this to 58. We could go crit damage. How would that work out? Because we could also shift 2 there, right? Or wait, which way did we shift when we did? We shift more crit chance in, right? Although actually 58 with demo, it's 60. So we could go that route. That's the obvious route. Because yeah, we can also flip 2 of these to crit damage. Right. Now we're on 42, and 3 crit chances bring us to 60. Oh, no. Filter options. Damage. Oh, good chance. Actually, that could be the way to set it up as well, even because you need 1 more crit chance, so that would all be that, and then just the weapon plus demo. That could also be a way to go. Let's actually take that as our option then. Thomas can take the demo.
Hey, agent, take a look over here.
Oh, I'm sorry. The hell?
Although as well, the weapon we have there is actually the Lexington. I mean, yeah, of course. Yeah. So this would put us exactly 60. Yeah. Because, yeah, it is nice to hit the right number. But then, yeah, let's compare them as that. So if we go from Coyote Mask, the other way around, Umbra, Coyote Mask,
Looking for something?
we're 54. As that's gonna, that's fine though. Let's just do that. We'll do it just as the final one. Yeah, let's do that one down here. Just take the value here. This will be these last two. Let's actually make this one is 130 plus 10 plus whatever is in this box. Lock that in. So we would have 50, or actually let's take it from here, the formula. So we cap it at 60 again, just so we can see the underlying numbers. 54 less than And so at max stacks for it. Wait, why is this one 318? That seems because that's 20 higher. How did we get 20 higher? Let's double check this first because that doesn't seem right. Why would the Cheska one be 20 higher instead of just 12? Let's reload the normal version for a second. So yeah, 5153. Just here. Then we go Cheska here. Oh, we gain. Oh yeah, we got 2 weapon mods flipped.
Thank you, Agent. I appreciate
That's what we get. That's 20. Yeah, 5170. Okay, okay. Understood. And hey there, childish. Well, it's childish. Feels weird to just call somebody. But that is your name. Okay, so back to this 54 1. I should be faster just to reload the build. That's back to normal. Coyote. Okay, so yeah, 54 153. So is 153 plus 140, right?
talking to yourself again.
120.
Fine. Oh no, third person, that's worse. Okay, sleep.
Plus 10.
Stop talking to yourself. Other people are gonna think you're crazy.
Okay. That's the same as up there. So this one then is now 60. If we go with the glove. Because if we had the mod from demo, we would have 2 more. So 60 is 141 and then plus 120. No peyote. There we go. So 25s and RPM times 1.4. Yeah.
Here to check something out?
Is that number times 1.4. It's 1.4. So this is coyote. Actually, we should do both 0 to 15. And then
Business with you.
to this. Then we should even have, yeah, let's have 3 of them. So this will be coyote 15 to 25. So we'll take the whole stat block, move it up 1 as well, and then on this one, it's this plus 25. And this one is +0. Yeah. And these should just compare between themselves. So 38. There we go. Let's make all of this different colors. I'll get you here for a sec. How goes the building? Well, this build is already built. Although, yeah, we have been messing around a lot with refactor recently, so there is that. But yeah, here just preparing. This evening we'll do an Umbra build showcase. And yeah, just kind of creating the spreadsheets I usually have in those here. So let's take these two to be. I should have this one, and then this section. This will be the same color, which was this. Yeah. And then Exodus, feel more blue tone-ish, right? Let's go with that. And yeah, with the Exodus correctly set up, I mean, we still lose a bunch, but not insane amounts. So I should drop this to, we need to remember to play around with the headshot number for that one. Oh yeah, and the thing I wanted to do as well is have a talent sheet for this one. I realize now. Do I have one open? No. You know what? Likely the easiest way to get there for myself even is just to use that. Because this will take us here. Let's make a copy of this one. And then should now be here, all the way at the bottom. Should sort it the other way with the newest on top. So we'll rename this one as well. And I should put it on the 03 that we have there, just so that they're side by side. Umbra talent. Because I want to actually start including these as well into the build showcase. Let's actually fill this thing in. Just get this out of the way. And in the meantime as well, I want to compare it maybe in one more way. I'm thinking maybe comparing it with OD and Aces and Breaking Point as 4 rifles, basically. Because Umbra is actually, I think, one of the better choices. Umbra or OD are the better choices for rifles. Let's see. So Let's just take this. We can take the stats from in here. Take this as our base. Just trying to paste special, but oh yeah, also so rate of fire if any, but yeah, we have 40 because of Umbra. So this is with Lexington. Actually, that's the same as this, right? So, oh, actually, yeah. So, let's just do it as a 850 times 1.4. That way, I can't even have an input error there. Except that I did 14. Almost exactly doing that thing. Let's actually go grab a Lex. Oh wait, who has it? That was the thing yesterday, right? I didn't remember. One of my characters has it, but I don't know where it is. Which is a common issue with Lexingtons for me. Yeah. Because it will be before, yeah, between these two, so it's not here. Let's go find that real quick in the meantime. In the meantime as well, input more of these numbers. So we have 168 for grade 28. We'll do the 15 to 25 numbers. So yeah, 60 to 83. 75 headshot.
Safe area entered.
Total weapon damage, no separate amp. 21, 20, and then nothing else. Okay. Do you have the Lexington? No. It's not. Likely character 2 then. It's always very annoying. And Hedonic. Show videos, but never catch you live. Well, I actually, yeah, I haven't been streaming much in the afternoons. I used to quite a bit. Although as well, likely in the summer again, I'll be able to again quite a bit. But it's been rarer and rarer. So, yeah, that, not that surprising. And usually as well, even when I stream on the afternoons, I start a little bit later than this. So. Is for monkey range.
Area detected.
for the shiny monkeys being our monkey range. Yeah. I mean, it makes for a good song. Do you feel the same way? Yeah. There is things you can do with it, but none of it is better than what we already have. So you can put it, for instance, with Oxy. And you can make a decent Oxy build without needing the contractors and that Fox's Prayer that like the real Oxy build needs. So you can make an easier one with Ninja Bike, basically. Because you do 2-piece Murakami, 2-piece Empress, 1-piece Shiny Monkey with the Ninja Bike. You give up that backpack talent, which costs a lot of damage, but is much easier to put together. Also, it has a lot longer duration. So it has like, instead of 14 seconds, it has a 21-second duration. So for certain things, it will be fine. Maybe even better because it lasts 7 seconds longer. You know, for those cheesing moments that have been around. Andersons and the Felas and the Kenleys of the world. But that's about it, because in a lot of other places, skill duration is just not really useful. And then also, for instance, that's Grease, where it is with status effect. And yeah, skill duration and status effect together is really only the flame turret for X0, but X0 already has a setup that like setups that work for it, and the exotics are just better, so you can't put 2 pieces there of Shiny Monkey. You could maybe try to Ninja Bike it, but then as well you're kind of messing up the damage backpack talent that you could have. So I don't think it will see much general use at the end of the day. Even though it has interesting stats. But yeah, most of it, like, we would have to find something where we care about, because that's also the thing. It has like a 3-piece healing, so you can maybe make a high-end healer, but then also we don't use high-end healers because we use FI. We don't need like max healing. We need just enough healing, and preferably with some buffs. That's much better of a deal. Oh yeah, if this guy had the Lexington, that's why we're here. This guy does have the Lexington. Back it goes. Also, actually, while I'm here, let's actually give this guy Parnell, or do we give? What was the other one? Oh, Drago. No, Drago should go there. What was the other one? Parnell. So yeah, maybe Parnell then. We'll wear the. Although, let's load his normal loadout first, and then being the costumes of this week was I didn't buy them this week. Of course, I had them already because I'm a silly idiot. Yeah, let's actually just play dress up with our characters here. We'll make character 3 Kajika, and then character 4 can have Drago. Yeah, now that we have that weapon, let's just get the reloads for this one, and then
Safe
so
area
I'm
entered.
trying to figure out why I might need to do something other than sorry. It's not the same demo. There's plenty of reason to have some of the other builds, especially in a group setting, of course.
Hey, agent.
Although as well, nowadays I wouldn't say Elmo. Like strikers, yes, Elmo can easily be replaced by, especially things that have a lot more damage in it, and then you can, like, that will make it a lot more easy to get through stuff. But for instance, yeah, in group settings, things like Eclipse and such, like, in general, I feel, well, the modifier of this season kind of gives us a lot of CC available to us, but without that, normally, yeah, like 3 strikers and an Eclipse are usually faster than just 4 strikers in a lot of things. Just because you have, even though the Eclipse does less damage than another striker, just the CC of them. But also, for instance, this Umbra just as something different, and then also, of course, all of the headhunters, because as cool as strikers is, then you have all of the the headhunters which can just delete things. And hey there, Sour. And Keen outfits come out next week because they didn't throw up this week's collection. Yeah, but that one was also not part of those 4. Because the Keener outfit was from the season from Keener. That's when because it's also not his Wony outfit. But likely everything will get reran because Conley as well wasn't in this, so likely in a few weeks they'll do Conley and Keener, and maybe even both versions of Keener because there's 2 versions of him. I mean, well, we got this one, and then also, yeah, we have this one from a little, or was this, or this is his Wony one, right? And then this is his Kelso season 1. Yeah, let's get the reload here. 1.72. Oh, that might be a good comparison. We are, yeah, we'll grab an AR, an LMG, and an rifle and kind of put those up against each other. Yep. Actually, looking at this, by the way, for a second. It's actually because of the high RPM increase that we have, measured is actually dropping. So measured is, I mean, still kind of the top general choice, but yeah, it's not as big of a increase as it would be. So killer as well is kind of actually because we have crit damage. But they're still the top picks overall. Although we could use goalie as well for a perfect pressure point. Because yeah, that could be. Although that will be only against certain factions. Yeah, nothing else is really popping out. It's because of the RPM increase, fast dance gains us a decent amount still. But yeah, we have so much crit damage that, yeah, for instance here, the rare times where Optimist beats Strained on these kind of builds. But then, yeah, so Killer is still the top pick. Measured is kind of still the top general pick, even though it doesn't add as much as with other builds, just because, yeah, we're dumping into crit and into rate of fire. So both Killer and Measured are actually both kind of getting hit a little bit. But that's fine still. That's but that actually maybe opens up goalie as an option. We should actually maybe have one of those at the ready. So maybe we go and farm one of those, because I don't think I've saved one. I think I donated all of them. G would be after F, right? So oh no, I do have a goalie. Oh, I have a max stat goal. Alright, let's take it. Oh yeah, I wouldn't win against Lexington with Killer. But we'll use it as an option. I'll put it in my inventory there just to have it. Yeah. Okay, so this one's ready basically. Everything else of it is ready as well, right? Yeah. I should go do testing shots. Let's quickly do some testing shots. Although for testing shots, I need this to be 168 or 65 instead of 160. Maybe we put it at 165 for just the weapon that I have.
Sorry?
All construction workers, plumbers, welders, and electricians report to the main desk at the earliest possible convenience.
So this is DTH. Oh, we needed that max stacks. Let's actually then set it to. Oh, we need the multiplier, the modifier off. Fair enough. Because that adds damage. So charge up to full and then 375. Oh, headshot, 375, yeah. And then 1010. Oh, that's higher than there. Is that higher? Oh, mid-range coyote versus close-range coyote. 983. Yeah, 983. Okay, so that lines up because, yeah, that lines up with the like shooting with no talent killer wasn't active there. So okay, so and then yeah, and then as well we have a solution for here. We're gonna do Lexington. Which LMG do I go with? I'm thinking in MG5. Or M249. I think MG5 makes the most sense, right? Because we also have reload speed here. What does the reload of M249 actually become here? 3.2. That's still like way long. The MG5 is a 211 on this. I am gonna and reload it. So we take MG5 instead. And then I would just be with a Petrov backpack. And 1 crit chance, 1 crit damage. Yeah. So for the AR one, we can just take this. That is this number times 1.4. This one and this one will swap those out. Lexington is a 1.72. Oh, these are all taking stuff from there. Like, I haven't filled anything in here. Why is this filled in? But they're taking from up there. Let me catch up here as I'm in my own world for a second. We use with Striker build for Peace, then Grupo and Cheska. If you have Lexington. Otherwise, FAMAS or FAL or CTAR or FT1000 are all pretty good picks. FAL, of course, a little bit low in the RPM, but that also then kind of translates into a little bit better ammo conservation as it just hits more, per shot it does more damage, so your ammo reserves go a little bit longer. But overall, yeah, FAMAS, if you don't have a Lexington. But then also a bunch of the exotics are also pretty good. Like Chameleon is decent with it, especially if it's close range stuff you're doing with it. Strega can be okay with it. Bighorn can be really good with it. All of those kind of require a little bit different setup for chance crit damage, and that's before you go like LMGs and stuff as well, because there's a lot of options there as well. Pointer triggering the coil mods. I'm catching lots of fire even without hitting my pulse. Yeah, any form of pulse. So the link laser pointer, the recon drone, the remote pulse, that grenade that you throw that then pulses. Heartbreaker if you like shoot headshots even. Any form of pulse applied to the enemy. Basically, at the moment that the pulse applies, there's a chance that they get set on fire. The remote drone is like a really good way as well to make it happen. But also the link laser pointer, because you can aim at enemies and not like set everybody on fire. Because that's the thing I've been finding being an issue in the open world, is just running pulse as I would normally do. You just pulse and then you get the people in front of you, but you also get like everybody else around you, which can be actually quite annoying. Maybe we did 2 ARs here. Maybe I go Lexington and then FAMAS. And then we go the LMG rat. Partially, I'm kind of also thinking about it in the way of like, with this season, with the slight changes, you know, people might be interested in knowing what the other choices can be. So if we go FAMAS, it's the same thing. It's just now it's 900 times 1.4. And the reload is a little longer. 192. Okay. And this has the exact same numbers. And we can actually copy this already, and then just this changes. So this is actually I should just do it with the, because this is a total of 14.5 instead of 15. I mean, on the crit side, on the chance side, this actually stays the same. We just gain +10. That's why I'm confusing myself. So this is that. Oh, and then +10. Yeah. And then this is 51.5. Okay. So this is MG5. And yeah, with the Petrov backpack. So let's actually put that here. Petrov. Just to remind myself. Also, that's not how you spell Petrov. Fenris. Petrov. The man who saved the world. Just fire starter. Yep, kinda, yeah. Oh yeah, there's a lot of CC you can have going around, especially with because that's the thing with this season. That's the OP part of the season. Last season, it was just be in long range or use any of the actives to make long range a different range, to make by the teeth kind of go to places, or if you were headhunter, just tapper. This season is much more, we don't have as much damage, but we have some movement speed and we have infinite CC basically, even if you're just a full red bill. So, and with the modifier. So this would be 800 is 800 times 1.4 at max stacks, 100 RPM, 211. Reload. What were actually the, because because if you look at the sadist, Oh yeah, this would reload way too often. That's the downside of it. Because next up would really be the at least in a pouch variation, the M249. So I put an M249 in there as well. Just so we'll use this as a to talk a little bit about some of the weapons as well. M249. I'm holding an LMG. So we need 1 crit chance and 2 crit damages. Yeah. Oh, also, we need the bases of these, of course. I was like, I'll go get them in a second, and then I almost forgot there. That's, yeah. What was it? Where were we? There. Yeah, this is the farmhouse base, and then MG5. Oh, also, yeah, MG5 would have. It wouldn't have this, but it would have this. Being a little sloppy there. And then M249. Okay. And then this thing is also or actually no, not also 850, but just 850 times 1.4 is 150 rands, and then 3.24. How much does that make it? 284. Yeah. So that's all correct. Although actually no, this isn't correct because this has 20. Because it should be a little bit closer than the. Actually, what happens if we go 1.45, 100? But yeah, that reload is too horrendous. Because yeah, we could go with the rate of fire mag, but. Okay. Seeing that M249 there now, I just look at it and go like, yeah, I think we're just going MG5. Although maybe we keep that there just to actually illustrate that point. And now some rifles. So Mark 17 and SIG, right? CQB. And Mark 17. I actually have, because I'm pretty sure I have a Petrov backpack. Yeah. I'll even max that. Do I have an Overlord backpack? I don't think so. So why do I have... I think this backpack can go. No, I don't have an Overlord backpack, but... Also, yeah, we'll likely see here that it's actually not that worth it. So let's take... that set over here. Let's make this 10 again. Nothing there. That stays. Oh, actually, LMGs. Because this one as well will be 80. Let's see where. Oh, that. Oh, I copied from upstairs, of course, so that's why this all broke again. Yeah, let's fix that up because that otherwise gets annoying. So this is 45. That's what I get for copy paste without paying attention. Is it 45 now? 43. That's what's going on. So it needs to be linked to that cell, not the cell upstairs. Same here, 43 for all of these. So if I got 0 here, yeah. LMGs are 85, right? Just to make doubly sure. The H will also be that. That's an annoying one. E 43, 43, 43, and 43. Okay, so we copy paste this all up in here, and then for the LMGs, we put so. This one 0, this one 0. And then there as well, just so we can play with the percentages if we want to. So this is also 43 and 43. Copy, paste, and then the base number is 12. That for these, there we go. Because now we can play with the percentages, and it works. Okay. Same here. And this one is 80. All right, there we go. Yeah. Now rifles. 52 170. $170 without that. This is with 3 crit chance mods, right? I mean, it has to be. It's the same as the AR. So this is MK17 and then SIG CQB. Oh yeah, let me have a peek over here as a in my own world for a while. That sheet making my little brain hurt. It's not too. None of these are that like if even if you spend a little bit of time, they're very easy to understand. Because at the end of the day, it's just inputting things. We just take things from the game and just input them into here just to get clearer view on the numbers. And once you kind of know where the numbers come from, which, you know, if you really want to, I do have videos on that. How we fill these in, basically. So yeah, this one's 30 rounds. This one's 40 rounds, and then this one's at 2.02. Why did it? And this is at 1.88. Why is it doing that? What? Okay. And then yeah, this would be the CQB. Oh, we need the base for both. Let's take the Mark 17 first. Well, yeah, that's also why, you know, these just get used in the video just to explain some of the points. Because that's what they basically are for, is just to show why I make some of the choices that I make. So this would still be the same. Actually, yeah, let's put this to 25. That would still be the same. Wait, is that actually working for the other ones? Yeah. Does this work for? Oh, okay. Oh, I could have just copied from here. I'm an idiot. Because we had fixed it up before as well. But so this one will also be 0, 0, 0, 0. For rifles, so for the CQB, we actually need an extra mod, right? So at 47, 53. Although actually, what happens if we, which way do we shift again? We shift forward, right? So we shift higher. Because I got to 2 crit damage mods on the weapon. We would lose 12. Yeah, that would push, yeah, that would, but that could push it to 49. Is that better than 53? Yeah, let's just put 53. 53. But then, so for the SIG, it's 170 plus 10 plus. Yeah, that's actually that number already. And then for Mark 17. Wait, how is this the same number? Oh no, it will be minus 12. It will be 170 minus 12, of course. So 70 minus 12. And then for this thing, it will be 170 plus 10 plus 120. Okay. Everything else set up correctly here. Yeah. Let's actually do this as well. Is this number divided by this number? Although that's not the way to do it. We need brackets. This number divided by 60. So this is firing time. Let's put just 2 numbers after it. Firing time. Okay. And that is kind of the reason we don't go much with rifles. Just don't show up much still. Even though they're auto and stuff, like, you know, if we go from the AR. Oh, the thing is with the AR and LMG, if I set this to 100% DTA, the LMGs win by quite a bit. If we put this kind of like at the 60, LMGs and ARs are kind of in the same ballpark. But then, of course, ARs do have their benefit of just being a lot more accurate, especially on the first shot. And things like that. But LMGs are definitely competitive. But even at 0% DTA, or no, 100% DTA, so that it's not the DTH, now the rifles catch up to ARs when their bonus isn't active. But then now the LMGs are 10% ahead. Or well, the MG5 is 10% ahead and is like so much higher, like 35% on sustain. So when we kind of put this at just the 60 that I generally put it at, like rifles are just not really in this pack. Even though they do have some benefits for ammo conservation and stuff like that. But yeah, this is a good illustrator, so we'll keep this. Yeah, let's colorize everything so that it is easy to kind of parse. Let's go with AR's kind of, that's a shitty color, almost literally. Let's go with the ARs being tones of red. And then the LMGs can be maybe purple. Purple. Yeah. And then the rifles, maybe we go blue or green. Let's go blue. Oh, that part also needs, the point is to color match these so that it's easy to for people to read. And let's give it a double check that I did everything right, because they're going through different weapon types. It's easy for a mistake to roll into here. So bases is changed. The crits are all different. Well, except those two, but that's fine. Yeah, this one would be lower. This one would be higher. Everything is with those backpacks. If I change this number, everything changes. These are set. That would be the same. This one changes. But yeah, they're the only one that has it. These are all 10 except the LMG. This changes that. Yeah. That all works. Yeah. I think this will be what we use. And we'll just have these two. We'll compare Umbratus to like Fenris versus Cheska. Basically for Umbra itself, we'll compare it to Striker because we have to. And then weapon choices, and then Exodus Glove. How much does it cost you? Yeah. Just for clarity, I'm going to remove that. And I'm going to remove this. Let's give this some lines there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, nice. Done. Yay. I'll give it a triple check. You know, in the break between. And oh, hey, what? That's interesting. In the chat there, I've received Kajika Trophy, Dragov Trophy, and Parnell Trophy. What? Kajika K. Have I done? Parnell in P. That will be the first one. P-A, Arnell. What's the other one? Dragov. But wait, what are these then? Dragov. Oh, I mean, we'll be around here, so. That's weird. This for most damage on Striker build for the Famas and the Vector. I mean, there is trained the best talent. It used to be. That's likely where that information is coming from. If you've heard it from me or from others, Strained used to be the better option. Well, not on the Vector. The Vector was the first one. Like that was actually the RPM and the firing time was too short. The nowadays Measured and Killer are the good ones to go for. So Killer. The needs skills, of course, for it to trigger with crit. So, for instance, in some of the fights, you would, because the killer is more damage when it is active, but it is sometimes hard to activate it. Think, for instance, with the, or like not even hard. Oh, it's in here. Ah, okay. Oh, hey. Oh. Actually, yeah, I should have thought about that because, yeah, the trophy, like if you get granted stuff like that, it usually goes to your mailbox nowadays, or always usually. That was also why it was weird that the Lexington was dropped in our inventory. But yeah, so Dragov Trophy, Kajika Trophy, and Parnell Trophy. Yeah. Actually, yeah, let's make this gal Kajika. Kiki. It's just little figurines. Huh? You know what? I don't hate that. But is this just because I had the... Did they add this to the bundle? Wait, it gave it to me. Oh, it's whenever I'm equipping... Although likely... Now it won't. Maybe it's per character. It's when I equipped this thing, it gave them to me again. But yeah, you can't have duplicates. It doesn't just show. It just doesn't show them. Interesting. Did they add this to the bundles? Oh, what? What's going on today? Okay. Guess they fixed up a bunch of their missing items and stuff that were not correctly given out. Can I equip this now? No, still can't. Is this... A Dragov mask is still not right. It's not showing here that you're getting them. But yeah, there can be a big Kajika and then also have a tiny Kajika. Interesting. Measure it better than so. Haven't done anything. It just got buffed. Last season at the start of last, so not the recent 2 weeks ago, but the season like 6 months ago, measured and strained got big buffs. So that just changed the metas basically. Killer, and yeah, the thing is basically killer is really good solo, and especially if you're getting kills, and measured as a general all-rounder. That also, for instance, means, for instance, in PvP, measured has become kind of the go-to now. And killer, you just have to consider, for instance, yeah, the initial fights in Countdown, where you're like killing the hunters. Yeah, you're going to get killer after the hunter is dead, kind of stuff like that. So there is some thinking to be done there, but general use killer, like you activate it quite a bit. So it's well worth. That's been my go-to from now as well. Also, they kind of reduced the effectiveness of fast stands, which was my other go-to in the past. Yeah, let's go run this thing. I still need actually a good mask. Is Umbra on the map today? Oh, it is. Oh yeah, let's go just do that mission with Umbra, kind of warm up. And thank you so much, Gnubel, I'll go with for the sub there, as always. Much appreciated, allowing me to be silly and buy all of these bundles that they keep putting out, because they keep putting out a lot. Although I had these ones already, so this week we only had to. Because yeah, it's not like I couldn't buy those. But, yeah. Let's take this. Actually, I'm not even gonna take directives. Screw it. Just want to mess around with this thing for a sec. As my secondary,
any operational trains you find.
You can't let those
let's actually take LMG first. Even though it wouldn't. The thing is, though, if we're using split weapon systems, we should make this a Cheska. And then fix up our crit chance in other ways. So remember which build is for the collection to solo master difficulty. Any suggestions? The PFE setups. So especially altering one of the high-end ones to maybe with AR is a good way. But you can also just have kind of a mishmash of the PFE striker and then just put a memento in it. You lose a little bit of PFE doing that, but it still has enough PFE for that. That's what most people ran to solo it. Basically, 4-piece striker with the chest, usually, or kind of tech tank E style, basically, but then with PFE mods. But then also not per se with Artificer, because you need the revive hive, kind of. It's a long mission. But you could just do it, for instance, yeah, the shotgun PFE could do it as well. But it would just be a lot slower than making him somewhat AR, because, yeah, you can't be in the middle of the runes. That you can't survive that, even as PFE. So it becomes more of a thing of... then rather having a little bit long range with ARs, so you can kind of hide in corridors and kind of get it. So actually, yeah, in the end, I didn't solo it myself, Master. Still have to go back and do that. And I will likely. The thing was that I was planning on doing it in that final week of last season, but then that turned into the global events coming back in Division 1, and all my time kind of went there. And here I'm intentionally keeping the modifiers off. For most of the build showcase as well, again, I'm just gonna keep the modifier off, except for one segment at the end, basically just to kind of show it alongside of that, and then also maybe kind of show a few of the smart things we can do with the modifier. Although nothing really like
You may have eyes on Wilson. Outside
is
near the main entrance of the mall.
directly related to
Terminate the
Umbra,
son of a
but
bitch. There's
I'm gonna
no
show
direct route from your
running
position. So you'll have to
spotter
first to the
drone and
hotel
how easy
into the
that
mall.
can make the game with microwave coils once you have that. And I'm gonna just discuss some of them because the healing one and stuff could actually be a little bit better on Umbra than it is on even Striker or something, just because of the
Hostile
it's
radio
RPM based
intercepted.
basically.
Get
That
the
one.
munitions. We gotta secure the ordnance. Negative. The subway's compromised.
From buying the rogue bundles, but some people aren't getting them. I heard sort of show them. Yeah, you want the Keener bundle to come back. Yeah, I missed that one. Yeah, somebody else actually was looking forward to that as well. Likely, I would expect because yeah, in this tree, because they put out 3, so there's 2 Keener ones and Conley. So I'm guessing they wanted to do 3 now and then 3 later. And just do both of them as repeats, likely. Because likely both Keener bundles will... They've done the same with, you know, Parnell has been around for multiple... Keener was also actually even... has already been reran. At least his... Kelso Season 1. Because then also he had his own Manhunt Season 1. I should actually charge up my Umbra. Let's actually run it with the weapon it's designed for at the moment. Because yeah, technically if I'm remaining that LMG, I should be running a Petrov backpack. That might actually be a thing also to discuss with it, because if you just wanna all round it, maybe you just put Cheska on it. And just make it universal. Yeah, and yeah, I didn't have those backpack trophies, but yeah, it seems to be giving them out now correctly. I wasn't even aware there were some of those. Let's actually see if I unequip, re-equip it. No, I guess it's doing it once per character. When you equip those, it just gives you the trophies you're supposed to have. Yeah, cool of them to fix that. Although, yeah, I still don't know what's wrong with the Dragov helmet here, because even if I'm, like, not wearing an outfit, even though, well, with an outfit, it would just, you know, it would still equip it. But yeah, for instance, this one, I should be able to, but yeah, it's not in my inventory here. But also if I try to use it from the bundles, like here, it's telling me it's owned, but I can't equip it. The equip is grayed out. Well, this one I can. That's kind of weird. But I should as well. Let's take her back to her normal clothes, and then we'll put Kajiko on top of it. The other one is saved anyway, if I want it. Quite blind. Oh, there. It's too bad that Umbra doesn't charge up when you're cover to covering. I feel that would be a good addition for it. But maybe that could make it a little bit too much.
You fucker, you'll pay for that!
There's an elevator that should take you to the mall. Wilson is still by the entrance. We've
Do you
spotted him
accept
working.
lead?
These are probably
Can I
the
pay for
fuckers
it
who
by
attacked the
shooting you with
castle.
this lead? Lead has value, right? The same thing happened with the
Hostile
storage. You could have
forces
you back
incoming.
because you're not even bundle on Tuesday after the maintenance and received a trophy from the mail. Where the trophies is concluded with the complaint. Yeah, I wasn't even aware those existed. It was also handy that actually I kind of just like I would have eventually seen them in the thing, but sometimes I have damage numbers on or something, and then just scrolls off the screen, of course, instantly. So. Yeah, kind of like those. That's chibi, right? What they call it? Chibi dolls.
Entering contaminated area.
Display the weekly descent. I didn't get any more
GC62
comms.
toxin
Why I'm
detected.
78 out of
Contamination
90.
level lethal.
They need to kind
These
of
readings are insane. They must have a lab
explain
nearby
it
for
better.
weaponizing
But the
this
thing
shit.
is,
Make sure you put it
the
out of
7 comms
operation.
that is showing, it is 7 specific comms. So it's not showing the names there, but so it is a set of, you know, I don't know if it's at random or they pick it or whatever, but it's like, you know, it's that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. You know, that's kind of just random picks. If you have them, if you already have those 7, you don't get any. It isn't adding 7 to you, but it is. So you likely had all 7 of the comms that were chosen for today's or this week. And because of that, you didn't get any. But that still means that if you just keep banging away at the weekly descent, eventually you'll have all of them because they're going to just rerun them all. It's not a well-explained system, neither is it a good idea, the way they're doing it. Because also it took a while for I don't remember the name anymore, but yeah, somebody else figured it out and kind of was talking about it, and it didn't make sense to me either until I kind of saw that and was like, oh, okay. Because that's also the reason why if you do it in the same week on, you know, your main character, if you do it on a second character, it's the same for everybody. It's the same comms for everybody. So you would have all the ones from that project because you have done the project already. So you can't also like just cheese it that way. And that's likely just a limitation of their project system. Like they can't make it give you just a random one without. Because for instance, for blueprints and stuff, there's a whole system underlying it which checks for duplicates and doesn't give you a duplicate. It gives you always something new. They should, but then likely they don't have such a system implemented for comps because, you know, we haven't had that issue yet. So, but hopefully that kind of explains it. Equip the drag off headgear to your own hat section either. It's not in there. That's the thing. Like I own it. It says I own it, but it is a high-end mask and it's called drag off, and it wouldn't be, you know, these are the D's. That's the thing as well, because originally I bought it basically on the first time it got released. The helmet wasn't there. Like this was a thing on Trello for forever. And I've been through that list a few times already. It's not that it's like in a weird spot. But basically I have it owned, but I don't have it. So I'm wondering actually if people buy it now, can they equip it?
Deploying a grenade!
I'm gonna wait for my ammo to fully charge it.
Let's get
see what I can do?
Yeah, solo scaling isn't too hard, of course, to deal with.
Excellent. I'll send in a team to dismantle the rest of that crap once you've cleared the site.
Could maybe actually make a short or something with that explanation for it. Because I feel I've given that explanation a few dozen times now. Oh, that's well, of course, that's if you till you know, you don't know, so that's kind of fine as well. Because I should what that system should be, if unlikely if they like had the resources, they would have done it that way. Like they're not trying to be annoying, what at least one would hope. Is that yeah, it gives you a non-duplicate. But for the time being, it's kind of like that. And the annoying thing is as well, because of how the system works, unless someone is wanting to make a new account because somebody was actually making a list or like they were putting out every week which ones, which items or which comms it was, because they would do it on a new character. They would just get those comms and then put out that list. But now, of course, with account shared comms, that is no longer an option because all of the comms are shared. So it would need to be a fresh account, and then especially as well if they kind of like rerun some. But what they should do is just put if they can, put the names on it, or just put out the names, or in some way, or hopefully, or maybe if it can be data mined.
Exiting contaminated.
And technically, those should be able, although projects though.
Might as well go and see.
I'm just gonna charge up my laser.
Enemies behind the road there.
That is the one nice thing about Umbra, is that you can charge it up before a fight and then take it at full power into the start of a fight.
I'll kill you for that.
There is definitely some value there, as my voice goes. As my voice becomes fully an old smoker. Jesus. Still not fully woken up.
I'll set up my turret. I'm gonna need a new vest.
Because technically it is, if you have the choice of having damage up front or damage that like kind of stacks up. Oh, actually that's what we... Oh yeah, that's what I should have. Strikers at empty stacks.
Don't let Wilson get away.
Although no, we can just empty out the stacks. We can just put the stacks at 0. For comparison's sake. That's, yeah, we don't
More
need that.
contacts. Great work. Wilson's unit is out of action, and you've crippled True Sun's chemical warfare efforts. Also,
Although what
Kelso
I'll-
just reported in to confirm the survivors from the castle settlement have safely reached the rooftop settlement. There's no one doing what happened to them,
Just gonna
but at least you've made sure it
add
won't happen
some-
to anyone else.
For myself, just note there, also show striker at empty stacks. Because at the start of the fight is always, if you can get the enemy numbers down, the faster the better. But then the reason why like that doesn't hold true in real play for us is just striker is so much stronger. Striker doesn't take too long to stack up, and then once it does, it's kind of unbeatable by everybody else. I showed some dailies. Roosevelt, Potomac in its zone. Yeah. Ooh, backpacks and LMGs. Although, yeah, likely we'll be doing some build showcase. Well, we'll be doing a build showcase this evening. Maybe after it, we'll have a little bit of time to maybe get some LMGs from the Bounty Cheese zone. But then also, yeah, the weekly is these zones. Let's actually do some of the activities here. Yeah, let's go for... That's what I wanted. Yeah, let's go do a few activities here and we'll just run Umbra. Oh, I should run it with the glove, maybe. Oh yeah, I needed... or do we just... Let's see how much optimization resources I have for mask. Because mask is also... thingy, right? Although that's like unneededly expensive at 3. Oh no, it's hyena, yeah. So it's not even one that I have a lot of. Maybe we go do a Kantan and try to get some better mask there. Although I can also try and craft. Because I would want a decently strong mask. Is this group of mask only saved with this Umbra? Yeah. Although in either case, let's actually run it with the glove. So now my crit is 58 with this crit chance mod. And then in this, yeah, if I was demo, I could have 60 with the laser. But for now, we'll just keep it as is.
In here! In here!
Serious trauma detected.
How do you like my driving?
Or I could go Cheska, backpack.
Detecting additional hostile contacts. Access key detected.
Shoot anything that moves.
That was a good idea on our part. Shoot everything that moves. I don't think she meant it for me, but I'll take her advice. Anything you say can and will be used against while I'm shooting you in the face. Let's go get those 2 crates. Yeah, that would be the other solution. We just swap to a Cheska, because this would be 2 crit chance more than a mod. And then we leave out that mod, and now we're at 60. And then the little bit of loss versus going specific weapon damage side of things, it's just kind of fine. Couldn't likely intercept that. Let me catch up. Usually look like it's when RNG medicine comes to, yeah.
Identified.
It's kind of RNG all the way down. Any build with shiny monkey? Overall, not really. I messed around with a few ideas. There's definitely things you can make with it that are effective enough. For instance, you can make an easier Oxy build with it than the Oxy build with contractors and foxes.
Incoming hostiles detected.
Let's get our armor broken there.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
Charge it up now. And yeah, you don't need that Fox Expert and Contractors in it. So you do, and then you go with Ninja Bike. You go Shiny Monkey, Ninja Bike, 2-piece Murakami for its damage and skill duration, and then 2-piece Empress for skill damage and skill efficiency. And the Shiny Monkey is then skill duration and skill damage, or skill efficiency. It doesn't hit too hard, but it has basically 50% more duration. It hits for like 500k per tick, where Combined Arms one hits for like 700k, like the classic version. If you're doing it with Acosta, it's like 600k. So, but then yeah, the cam stays for 21 seconds instead of like 14 seconds. And that might actually be useful for some things. Although most of those things are, yeah, things like Kelly and stuff, which we won't kind of care about. But it will be a much easier set to put together than trying to get that Contractors and Foxes with skill damage. Although you need one of them basically with skill damage, but that's still usually harder to get for newer players, especially so. But with Oxy and Pummel kind of being, you know, Oxy no longer working with Pummel, you kind of also need the skill haste, which is the thing that set then kind of lacks, because the other one as well can have a lot more skill haste. And I'm just running around, not even using my Umbra bonuses. Should I actually get to this side, because they spawn usually right there. Oh, except when they don't.
Access key detected.
Oh. Decoy or something. Does this girl need any resources? Actually, it's technically a food zone. Well, I think there's like 3 boxes or something. I think that was it, right? At least those 3. So then, actually, yeah, it's the zone is inside here even, so yeah, it's nothing on the outside likely. Yeah, let's get this propaganda too. Screw these signs. Except not these signs, because they are too heavy. Oh, that's around after work. Have a good day. Yeah, no, we're staying. Let's go get this one. Oh, well, we don't often come through this street.
This is our chance to create the city we want. So let's show those
Let's actually charge it up more. Because one of the things is as well, even when you're not charged up, this is a thing that I feel a bunch of people... Because even on hot shots, even though, for instance, I myself as well, I usually go with...
Hostile control point nearby.
2 marksman rifles. Honestly, if you have just all the red cores, even without, like, this also has crits behind it, but just that by itself can do more than enough damage for like solo heroic. Like if you just already just have all the red cores and not even the crit behind it with like an AR and stuff. But even there, yeah, just running an AR or an SMG as a secondary.
Access key detected.
Thing is though that yeah, I like having a nemesis on my back for the
Manual override required.
for the times that's needed. I'm charging my laser.
Anyone else hear that?
Surprise!
Our enemies want you to stop living.
progress resumed.
Living blah 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 blah. It's always a fun effect, that one.
Let me show you what I got.
Although yeah, the thing I should be doing is using tall cover. That's the whole thing with Umbra. You try to always set up with tall cover because you have to be out of cover
Manual override required.
a lot, so you don't ever really want to be completely exposed.
So, best reason to move to the castle isn't the food. Although Mari's fish tacos are.
I don't want to hit both of those. Let's go with that. Is there a build question for the one that I can use or the best source of all the YouTube videos? There is some. I don't know if you're in the Discord. Oh, I should actually. I see NGN responded there. Yeah, I'm a very surprised boy. Although let's see if I can find it. I'll maybe put it in the chat here. Oh, here. Bass6, who does some Div 1 stuff, and yeah, when I was doing some Div 1 things, he linked to this, for instance. There's also, if you search for like Division 1, there's like a build site, which I think is still up. I haven't used it in a while. But there was also this doc, which is by Grizz, I think is the thing. Or Gruff. Yeah, Gruff the 87 and Grizz. Which has a bunch of ones to copy from. But yeah, there's also like a Division 1 build site that has a kind of ranking system built into it and stuff. I haven't seen it in forever. I wouldn't like... I'm gonna search for it now because it would take... it would likely be a little bit too long. I guess if you just Google for Division 1 or Division build site or build thing. And actually, there's now also a similar one in the works for Div 2, which is kind of cool looking. Although, well, it's not specifically just that, but it's kind of a replacement for MXS Watts kind of build tool. But that one will also have the function later on, at least they're planning to, on people being able to save the builds and also setting them to public, and people can then rank them or like give it thumbs up basically.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
On there. Yeah, this glove, that's a downside of the glove. It's really handy when it triggers, but I haven't, like I triggered it once in the last 15 minutes we've been running around. And the rest of the time, it's of course, oh, I'm gonna keep that. Although, well, this is pretty expensive, but it's better than nothing. I need a bunch more MG5s, but those are my preferred LMG overall.
I don't know what to say.
Let's maybe go do this bounty. I even have a challenging one there that I should clean up. It's from one of the weeklies, or from one of the dailies. Did this go where I expected to go? Yeah. It went exactly where bounties nowadays quite often go. We should take this street, intercept this, and come from the south side. Let's do that. Do some searching. Most of the links were dead. Yeah, no. I do want to at some point, even though I've like I'm still kind of learning a bunch of stuff in Div 1 still every time I kind of go in there. Because yeah, I was definitely not as into it as I am into Div 2, kind of, especially on the understanding a lot of the interactions and stuff. But at some point, I was thinking in the build collection to maybe just make a Division 1 folder. Partially for myself as well, as I kind of am running into the same thing I had in Division 2, where I have a bunch of builds on a bunch of characters, and I don't remember all the stats always, like, oh, I got this backpack. Could that other character use it if I had my own like build collection stuff? Because that's like, or way long ago, kind of what the build collection started as. Although with just a few builds that I was kind of just making, and then so just so I could see what parts I was missing still and stuff. Get half a bar of armor back. Oh, I'm like, I'm not doing a lot of damage. Yeah, no, that's no shit. We consider doing the thing of the gear set and not being in cover. They'll spawn to my right here, like me. Actually, no, where are we? Oh, no. So they'll spawn all the way back there, like me.
Target is nearby.
Shut up, Manny.
Incoming hostiles
Yeah, they'll
detected.
spawn all the way back there. Or there. Let's charge up a little bit before we kill this one. So
Detecting
we're
additional
ready for the
hostile
next one.
contacts.
Sir. Yeah, they have.
Hostile supply convoy detected.
Where's the other? Oh, there. Wait, what? That doesn't make sense. Why is one of the boxes dropped there and one of them there? That seems a little way spread out.
Target near you.
Hey, asshole! You stepped over the line.
Video about stash management, how to optimize what to keep in the backpack to keep it uncluttered. No, it's very dependent on personal choices, but I need help. Actually, one of the videos I do want to make, and it's been on the like, it's been there forever as well, because it's, so more recently I've just been doing post-it notes for the video ideas, and then I put like, for the ones I need notes, I put it on the back. And yeah, as you could see there, it's almost like a, it's almost like deck sized. But yeah, inventory is kind of in here, but it's actually, yeah, it's kind of in the back. The thing is, the idea that I have for it is kind of explaining both how, especially, where is it actually? Oh, it's over there. You know what? Maybe we'll move it up a little bit. But there's so many subjects to tackle and so little time. But the way I want to make that video is kind of first explain like with pickup and stuff, because one of the things you can do is just pick up loot as junk that you want to donate, especially starting out, and then if you pick up anything normally, you can still extract the stats from them. So those, like, that way you can separate those two, and then everything you want to keep, just favorite it. And then also kind of explain
location.
the philosophy that I have with stash, which is just if I can refarm it easily, it doesn't get to stay. Like if it's just a piece that I'm like, I could refarm this in 2 contents, even if it is really good and I don't need it at the current time. If I don't have a direct use for it, it just gets tossed. Like if I get a really good Grupo glove and I don't need a Grupo glove for a certain build there, I just toss it because if I need it, I can always go get it. Especially nowadays. But yeah, that is definitely something that is much requested as and I'll although yeah, the best way we know now actually is
Incoming hostiles detected.
we need to pester the devs more for more stash space, right? They give it to us once. So if we start badgering them now, then 3.5 years from now, we'll get another 100. Right? Let's get on that.
The target is nearby.
I've got you now.
They give us a finger, let's take that whole arm. Finally really worked hard and give you 100 more. And we're not sure our servers can handle it, and then just instantly, more. We want more. Give us more. Can region armor to full one. It doesn't to full. You get like half of armor bar. The thing is that you're out of combat. The game kind of takes a second to realize that you're out of combat, and then you regen like 2 seconds worth, basically, which is like half of armor bar. The thing is, though, if you're on fire or if you're, well, any status effect, including disorient or foam or something, stuff like that, that technique, that keeps you in combat. The game kind of doesn't let you get out of combat.
Fire at that guy!
But in most cases, for instance here as well, without special ammo on, because yeah, special ammo, of course, could make that a lot less consistent. Even against hyenas, which are just disorient. You basically have half of an unbreakable from it. But as well, I just want to mess around with this thing, not so much with the directives on. Although I should check actually how this character is per, like, how the directives are affecting this character. Yeah, no, sports key. Spend over a million. Oh, mostly found classified and exotic, so know what to prioritize. AD, ADT, crits. In there, that one's pretty simple. Any place you can put DTE, especially on the gear end, any place you can put like armor or DTE, you prioritize that, and then go crit chances and stuff under there. Because in Div 1, yeah, you can't get crit that high, which also means that you do gain decent returns from it. But on most of the pieces, the amount that you can get from crit is just less in effect than from armor damage or elite damage. Damage to elites. Let's go kill Foxy. Foxy Supreme Suit. Sounds like something from an anime or something. I'm gonna go put on my Foxy Supreme Suit.
Target neutralized. Good work.
These don't spawn directly on top of me. Oh. Oh, there's also names group outside. Also, thanks Isaac for letting me know there's a wave spawning. This is a bad idea where I am, but it's also a really good idea. Except when that guy goes immune. Okay.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
I'll never hit them from here.
Okay, isn't wrong, which is a good thing. What is this laser effect happening? from the boss.
You got the target. Nice.
Medic? No medicing. What did I just say?
That's the target, Agent.
Spawned on the other end. Where did they spawn? Hello? Oh. They're just not even in combat. That's how far they spawned. That's the sniper turret.
Hostile sniper turret detected.
That's what I said, Isaac. I don't need you anyway. Don't leave me there. Anyway, we have our... So yeah, I'm just gonna stand in front of this guy because I know I
Target
have
down. Good
enough
job.
seconds to kill them. That's kind of the thing with the glove. It's just... With that enemy, I know I can kill them in that 2 seconds of it.
Looks like you earned yourself another bounty.
You know, not...
Well done.
not really shooting back at me, so I can just jump them. That's kind of the nice thing with it. Oh, definitely nice safety, net gear piece. Give some breathing room. Yeah. Did you like smoke if I was just sugar on top of the cake? Have teammates. Yeah. It's kind of a dick move in both ways against teammates, because also the second that, you know, an enemy loses aggro, like if it was in Countdown or something, the second the enemy loses aggro on me, it's gonna go against, you know, the next guy in the list. So, but I think actually for just people that like to run red build solo and stuff, this is... I think I would lean more towards this glove than just running Coyote or nothing. Because yeah, it's basically an extra... The way that I've taken to explaining it is basically an extra health gate. It's not really, because, you know, you have you have things like anything that like one taps you to the actual health gate will still do that. But what you have is against everything that is chip damage.
I found it.
Really want that guy gone. It's basically if they get to the end of your armor, you basically have kind of like a health gate effect, but then on your armor. And then you also have the heal. This guy's carrying a box. No. Oh, let's kill him anyway now. This is a nice thing with Umbra, can charge it up and go into the fight fully charged up. And also once it's actually charged up, it stays for quite a bit. Like you don't need to... be as consistent into the cover. Let's actually take this back to base. I want a better mask, so yeah, let's still do a countdown. And set our target to Umbra. Also, I need to dump a bunch of the weapons that I grabbed. Just for testing purposes. Actually, let's first clean up our inventory.
Looking for something? Thanks for the deal.
So during the time out of combat, you get full armor back. Oh, interesting. I haven't messed around with that. So I should try that. Oh, because it still does that armor recalculate out of combat. That's actually very clever. I wouldn't have thought of that. Because yeah, it does the because we're out of combat, so when we because no regen breaks it in that way, but yeah, it has its own way of kind of. But if you were to, when you're out of combat and you swap anything, you just instantly feel like it recalculates it. The old way, like, you know, we bypass no regen.
Nice to see you, Agent.
If you hit the weapon subtype correctly. Okay. Yeah. They're reading better business. I wasn't aware of that one.
Thanks for the
That's actually pretty clever. They still have you. Oh, that MG5. Although, yeah, this one's pretty expensive, man. Ooh, that can go. These two can go. Hey, also, she doesn't need this anymore, right? So that can go. Hey, we'll keep the goalie. Why does she run the goalie even? Yeah. Oh yeah, the MG5 is equipped. Yeah, we'll hang on to that one. That's likely the one I'm gonna use in the showcase as well. No idea. For now, let's actually just run goalie. Just to get a feel for the weapon, not so much its damage or anything, but just the weapon itself. Also, that MG5, I'm likely full on these. That MG5 is good. Do I already have one with grading? No. Because I think I got rid of the other ones. I'm slowly replacing all my LMGs with crit chance third stat ones. I used to be of this kind of thing where I would go for the talent that I like, and then so we could swap this from crit chance to rate of fire, but that's no longer necessary. So been slowly swapping these around, and I think yeah, that one would be a good target for wasting some resources, especially. Even if it isn't the best looking one. Last week I've been pretty full on these resources the whole time. Let's burn a few. Oh, but then also, yeah, if you hot swap builds in those 2 seconds, you would also actually get a full healer. Huh. Well, actually, I should just make this 20. Yeah, let's just make that 20. Yeah, unless again, I shouldn't have it be 12 because I need it on a round number for the for the if we need to back calculate its base damages and stuff. MG. Yeah, let's take this to 20. I always like this skin for the MG5 as well. Little, inlaid kind of thing. At least ate up a bunch of those resources as well, so I'm not that far more. Yeah, let's take this into countdown, challenging.
You have received an invite to another agent's group.
Oh, I
You are now in a group.
was very confused why I was in that menu for a second, but I pressed G instead of H. Let's try to get a better mask than we have. I don't want to spend 3 optimizations here. That seems like I can farm better than that. Also, yeah, let's run this in Canton where it isn't really its home. And if somebody didn't wait until everybody was in. So we'll likely be starting on 7. Or with 7. I don't know. Last second somebody got in. Also, this is starting up. I'm going to snack away a little bit on some canned stuff.
Communication relay offline.
As the dumbass that I was, I didn't really eat lunch, so I was like, I'll grab this to snack on, and I'll be enough to get me to dinner.
The True Sons have triggered a lockdown at the plant. They've been taking over infrastructure to lend legitimacy to their cause. If they control the power, they control this region.
And if they control this region, they control the world.
We need to remove the safeguards and restart the reactor.
Ending in reactor. Team is on the left. Let's see if the team actually
Reactor
does
unstable.
go left.
Emergency lockdown protocols activated. 15 minutes lockdown.
Please proceed to your nearest exit. Lockdown safety
Yes, yeah.
protocols initiated.
Getting all the dog tags, that is for clever people. We can't have that. So let's instead face first, run towards the hunter, and then just get hit and get. We gotta have gotten all the dog tags. But with randoms, that is not always an option. And Umbra is really not a good fit for here. That's like, this is a place of running around. Be sitting in cover for 5 seconds isn't really available to me most of the time. Because even here I'm going to actually do it, but... Oh, that guy got his heal off. Shit. Also, this is a challenging countdown. Like, this shouldn't be this level of struggle. How does that guy have? I'm really curious.
System curtailed.
How does this guy have? Okay, that's how he has that. That's such a dick move to your team. That's not. Because also, yeah, he's done it in 6 hours. That means that's a second account or convert or somebody like that.
Detected.
And that's the reason why he has less than, you know, the 13 bars that even a full red build usually. He is like level 3, but also like just go and farm the open world for those first few pieces.
Hostile sniper turret detected.
That's also why he's the leader, because yeah, he would have been, you know, rightly kicked.
Hostile assault turret detected.
Then time it down. Yeah, let's actually see if I can get the timing on that.
Hostile striker drone detected.
One of these times. Oh, also, oh yeah, I shouldn't turn it on. I don't have modifier on, which I should have on in here, of course, because it's on.
Incoming. High risk hostile.
everybody else. Thing is though, I'm pretty sure it's going to be like last season. If I turn mine on now, it will start to show frenzied enemies. Because last season as well, if anybody fiddled with their turning it on and off, you could change your modifiers, but if you turned it on or off and stuff, you would make it so, you know, Stellite and Master of None and stuff would start showing up.
Area secure.
We're again cooling. Yeah. Although that's hostiles at cooling. Oh, we have so much time. It's fine. It's much closer. Let's have a better chair. Exactly. It's one of those ultra deluxe gaming chairs. That's like 50 expertise grades, right? Right there. You're here to see unicorns?
We
Well,
need to locate the target.
I feel that's more of one of those things to have one of those VTubers. Maybe I should do that for April Fools. Just set myself up as a unicorn, as a VTuber, kind of. They give me super unicorn.
10 minutes to lockdown. Evacuate the facility.
To the Red Factor, so you made the build for it. Can't find it in the folder. It's not added in yet because I'm still messing around with it. That's why it's still an empty spot. I do think I'm kind of settled on what I want it to be, though. Oh, I'll take that. And that is basically all red, sacrifice chest, memento backpack, and the rest everything is crit chance, crit damages, and just balancing that out. You need a few pieces of the refactor to also be with crit chance for that. And then yeah, capacitor, technician. It's kind of what I settled on, but it hasn't been added to the build collection. I want to mess around with it a little bit more. I want to try it as well with all of the cores being yellow, or well, not all, but closer to a turret drone hybrid.
Setting up my turret.
Because I guess I messed around with a bunch of different different ways of doing it, and actually I was surprised that one of the ways kind of worked, and actually may
Value target detected.
may even be usable in some ways, but where you go with the backpack and then intimidate chest, because that can be made to work. The thing is though that it's just it's more of an out there build than actually something, you know,
Incoming. High risk hostile.
that actually kind of works. Let's see, I should charge up my Umbra. Because even a little bit is better than nothing.
Area secure.
Agent, you should be able to access the reactor.
Some loot up there. We exit. But yeah, this evening we'll do the Umbra showcase, and then likely tomorrow or Sunday, if I stream Sunday, we'll add that into the build collection. So I want to mess around, yeah, with that, with just also a yellow core version with still crit chance, crit damages underneath. Turret drone hybrid kind of style. Turbo hybrid stuff.
Agent, you've reached the reactor. I need you to get it back online. Now that you're in, we need to decrypt the safety protocols.
511 with has. So. Oh yeah, some of the unicorns, especially 511 chest and stuff. Because yeah, 511 drops so many backpacks that it's any piece other than that is already a unicorn almost. Also as well, it's gonna, because I'm kind of trying to like go like, what would that go into? As a hazard protected DZ healer, maybe? It would be my kind of guess. But even then, I would maybe like think that there would be easier ways. Okay, so PvE there. Because on the PvE end, yeah, that wouldn't make much sense, but on the PvP end, I could see it.
Evacuate the facility. 5 minutes to lockdown.
Proceed immediately to your nearest exit.
Good work decrypting the protocols. You need to remove those.
But yeah, more I'm
controls to
like
get the reactor
looking at
back
it,
online.
going like, what would the pieces for that likely be, and then can't you shuffle it so the 511 doesn't need to be on the chest, because that would be likely much easier.
Target detected.
Oh yeah, indeed. That's a full bar.
Just fucking die already.
That's actually an interesting interaction there that does that. Although the thing is, most of the time I would just still keep shooting in that time. That would be the actual play. Because you also get 2 seconds of just, you get to shoot and nothing
Great
shoots
work,
back.
Agent. Now you just need to restart the reactor and keep any hostiles from knocking it offline or killing you. No pressure.
All the pressure. SE58 Pyra does have a lot better handling than the Big Fall. But the Big Fall does have the ghoul skin, so. But it's kind of already be a little reacquainted with. Interestingly, there's no coyotes in this entire team, actually. I haven't seen that in like forever. Curious then, how does that even happen? Ah. Okay.
Nice. The plant's secure. Now let's get you out of there.
That's how
Move to
that
the
happens.
extraction point.
I mean, I'm not helping with
When you're ready to
running
come
Umbra
home,
here, but,
shoot off a flare.
but still, that's an interesting thing. So gloves available to farm once we get them from the season reward. It's even before that. There's already confirmed drops of both the Ox Pecker and the Exodus glove before season track. Like that hasn't been a thing actually for a few seasons.
Get on that helo.
That
You've got
you've
hunters
needed it
incoming.
from the season thing first. At the very least, the last 2 seasons hasn't been that. But for the Oxpecker, you do need to get it from the season track to get the blueprint. Or, well, you get the blueprint from the season track. It's just not available by itself.
System disrupted.
Charging my laser. It's funny how little damage most of the rest of the team has. There's like a striker and a heartbreaker. Those guys, if they kind of stack up, might actually do some damage, but I feel generally it's the thing that I'm aiming at that dies and not much else. That guy has... Because instead of weapon swapping there, yeah, I prefer there to just put out the damage. Good to see that we're still giving the enemies subsidies. Instead of putting some tariffs on them, we're giving them subsidies in the form of our drones.
System restored. Immediate medical assistance needed. Agent down.
Oh, so
Agent out of action.
that's a downside. There is no good tall cover here except all the way up there. And I don't want to be all the way up there because the next chopper is going to land on my face.
Shoot off a flare when you're ready for Torres to bring you
I'm
home.
expecting instant flare as well. Yeah.
Hold tight. Helo inbound to your location.
Vital signs critical. System reactivated.
Go, prisoner! Shot on the mark.
Sending the UAV.
An agent needs assistance.
Division agent is back up.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
At least type that out.
Down. Get out of there. Let's get you home, Agent.
I don't care if I die or the... But these guys can't kill that. And I want to get instantly out, and I'm going to instantly matchmake again. And then well, actually, is that mask that I have already crit damage? I got a pretty decent crit damage one. But it was kind of... That went as expected. Anyway,
Safe area detected.
Come on over and take a look. Finest selection in the district. Hello there.
because I wrote that one.
I appreciate the trade.
This one was crit damage, and do I need it to be crit chance? Even if I needed it to be crit chance, we can always do it with a mod on this. So yeah, no, let's swap that for this. Actually, and just so one of the things is mods in gear, when you deconstruct them, it doesn't actually deconstruct them. Like instead of stripping that piece, like you can see there's no printer filament here. That mod is just still gets kept, even though it warns you to not do it. Because it will destroy the mod, but it doesn't actually do that. Oh yeah, let's put weapon damage there. I'll just optimize this. And then we'll hang on to this this setup. Or well, not this setup, but I'll hang on to the mask for the showcase. Because yeah, we'll run it once as this as well, and then well, likely with that. So actually, wait, on the talent one, how much? How much was measured in comparison to killer? Because that's the interesting thing here. Measured gets a lot from its RPM, so its RPM already, that pool now being filled in by Umbra quite a bit. Yeah, the measured is pretty low, but then killer is also pretty low. So actually, they're kind of that same 5% apart. But yeah, just that 5% is just for both of them much lower. But the difference between them is about the same still. So we could go either killer or measured for this. I'll likely go killer though, I think. Because that, at least when we have it triggered, once we go into cover, we have that, like we gain more from killer once we're in cover. But yeah, I think also pressure points is not the worst pick for this if you have ways of making it happen. Let's load the normal version actually. Let's actually go do a mission with this just to warm up even more with it. Let's go to Grand Washington. Let me catch up. Where's things?
Hostile control point detected.
It was above the 30% income rate, and that is it makes a difference. Yeah, I could see it for that. So what type of content does Umbra excel? Anything like where you're solo and you get to control the engagement. Because the thing with it is, you need this. You need to be in cover for a few seconds. Like in Countdown, there's a lot of running. But here, for instance, if I'm solo, I can set this up and then go in. So actually, for instance, activities and stuff as well, because you'll find that in a lot of, if you're doing solo territory controls or stuff, like in public executions, there's enough people that, when you kill half of them, you're kind of at full striker stacks. But here, against, for instance, territory controls and stuff, or propagandas and stuff, I can charge up first. So I haven't set the mission. Let's actually take a few directives with it as well. Let's take that one, that one, that one. Yeah. Although, I mean, we have both, so.
You're right next to the Grand Washington Hotel.
Okay, here we go.
That's also why it gets used in like conflict
Service
and
entrance on the east side of the building.
DZ and stuff quite a bit. Because you can control when it's charged up without having to be,
Once you're
fighting.
inside, find a way to the atrium.
But then especially, you need to be dictating the pace, because the pace is just slower. The pace of this is just going to be always a little bit slower than if I'm just solo running striker. Or running a tech tank or something like that. Because yeah, you need to kind of
Hostile radio
charge up that
intercepted.
bar if you want to do it right.
We're under
You charge up
attack.
that bar
Might be a diversion, so be ready.
and then go. Oh, there, I should turn on the modifier here. Let me run it with the modifier.
Hostile radio intercepted.
That way as well, we have a lot of
I'm heading
CC.
upstairs to the hostage. Everybody, get to the atrium.
Yeah, let's go for rogue.
Saints here.
The who now?
Hyena big shot. Real unpleasant. We need to kill this asshole.
I'll grab that key as well. Yeah, Ubisoft's like, yeah, it's just like, yeah. Although I think I saw a pop up there. I didn't pay attention to who it was. Oh, wait, what? Ubisoft services are temporarily unavailable. Please try again later. What? Oh, there it goes. Okay, there. Yeah. How did I have that much struggles
Agent
hitting that little
incapacitated.
gas can there? Let's put it over here.
Vital signs critical.
It's the downside of scamming skills. Actually, yeah, where do I even go here? Here is the answer. Making a whole mess out of this fight. Should just prioritize that heavy much earlier. Can't shoot over that. Hello, madam. Nice of you too. GTFO.
You went all the way to the top floor.
Made that a lot
Take
more
the
messy
stairs to
than
the
it
right
needed
of the
to.
elevators and work your way up.
Actually, what I should have done is held back there and used that tall cover. Because there's just not that much tall cover here that I can easily get to. Also, yeah, I wouldn't say just PvP as well, because what is pretty good for PvP. Just for, because that's quite often as well, the place that, you know, a lot of the other sets can kind of just have a niche by just being different than Striker. 'Cause you play it, you have to do something a little bit different. Especially for this as well, kind of the reliance on tall cover and stuff makes a big difference.
Then whoever attacked us might be headed this way. Killing time.
Should have gone for him. Exotic. Save him pulse for the second wave. Actually, there's some here. Let's go. What we got? Swap speed capacitor. Don't need any more capacitors. Every character has one.
I just found
Let's
an ammo
get to way more than
stockpile.
Scat one.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
detonate it.
agreed. Scat one was a little bit silly. Thing was also that just it wasn't a puzzle. It was just obfuscation. Second one as well. It's not a puzzle. It's just obfuscation. It's just the other ones were at least kind of like, you know, word play puzzles sometimes and stuff. But all of them are kind of hard to do for the amounts they need to do
Doing all
them
right
for.
there, Kelso?
As long as I'm not breathing infected.
The second scout though, it's just going at the last one, hey, just go do the choke, no puzzle. Nothing to figure out. Because at the start of it as well, I was like, oh, they swapped around the two texts. They swapped around, you know, maybe once we complete it, we get the puzzle text. But no, there is like two different texts, or they copied it to both maybe or something. But no, it's a different text for the puzzle and then a different text when she completed. But in the not completed one, it has the solution, right? Just go do the choke. Which was just like, because I was almost expecting there to be because of that. Maybe like with the scavenging puzzles, where we went for you know, grabbing a certain item or something, or there's a package there added into the game or something. That was kind of what I was almost expecting. I mean, said, well, I need to wait for Black Desk Invasion. No, you don't. Snitch is an option, and is the easiest option for there. You go for the Snitch by the southwest thingy. Do it right after you log in, or if you've been away from DC for a while, if you've been in Descent or in New York or something like that, or in missions for quite a while. Go to southwest, get the Snitch location there. And unless it is a True Sons bounty... Oh, actually, no, so even easier. Set your world to challenging and go get True Sons bounties there. On challenging ones, go there most of the time.
Immediate medical
For
assistance
True Sons.
needed.
But yeah, on challenging, it's basically a 50-50 if you get a challenging or a heroic. So if it's heroic, it'll still go to Constitution Hall. If it's a challenging, it'll go there. But Snitch is also, if you haven't put him on cooldown yet, is one of the easy ways. So. Oh, there. Snitch is basically a 1 in 4. Because if it drops a True Sun one, it'll still go to another Strega. Hey, 2 exotics in just one mission. Wait, that's a Detox Strega. Actually, I think I gave this one... Oh no, so is this better than this one? Yeah, this is 4 optimizations, this is 3. So we'll keep this one, we'll toss that one. And I want this character to have one as well for the Striker Tech Tank. To mess around with. Yeah, would a Sire's knee pad be great for this build when you stay inside cover? Well, it wouldn't per se work for, because the thing is, we go into cover to charge up, right? And then if we had Sawyers, when we pull out, it like resets again. Because we have to like, you know, we're going into cover and out. That will count as movement for Sawyer. But Sawyer in general is just, if you are gonna use it, it's too clunky. Because here as well, even if I were to trigger it, like standing here, even if it like didn't drop, just going in and out of cover, here I need to fidget because we're kind of using the tall cover, but I'm just like, if I'm shooting that guy and then I peek out more to shoot this guy, that would already break it. And Sawyer, while it is total weapon damage and a pretty good stat and stuff, it's just not worth the hassle of it. It requires way too much work. Because in the end as well, you gain, especially on a build like this, where we also have Vigilance, because it works better if you don't have any total weapon damage already on the build. So here, the addition of it would be a 1.55 divided by a 1.25. So instead of 30%, it would be 24% basically increase when it's fully stacked on top of the Vigilance. Because of the diminishing returns of that pool, basically. We have already Vigilance in that pool, and then we're adding in Sawyers on top. And then with the loss of the red core and the red stats, actually you'll kind of land on, well, you would still be ahead, but, well, you wouldn't be, not when you consider that you also have to lose the Coyote. Like with against the group of piece, it would be slightly ahead. Against the Coyote, it would likely slightly be behind. Just quick head maths.
Let's do this.
Tall cover, so we don't go there. Where do I even go? I'm gonna go over there. It's like one of the few places where we have tall cover. So, hey, Kelsey's just following me. Stop following me, Kelsey. Huh? Sheesh. One of the things here is, though, I'm gonna push into here. They're gonna spawn eventually from there. Because all of these sires in heroic play and stuff as well, where you even if you're mostly stationary, you're just not fully stationary most of the time. This place kind of sucks. That's why I also never come on this side. Just don't like this side at all. I always go on that left side and gonna hang around there. It's also kind of hard to see the enemies. Third exotic.
We're gonna have to punch through his armor.
Hey, good wrist. Yeah. How much actually spawned here? I'm guessing this is kind of facing based as well, seeing as I'm not facing that way, it's not spawning that.
Fucking hell!
Fucking hell indeed.
Over the line.
Oh, not enough. But yeah, also, I'll take 3 exotics in one mission. Game is being very nice to me today. Actually, yeah, streamer luck, right? Also, yeah, what did we get? We got a capacitor, a strega, and now a chameleon. So now, of course, we just need to have it drop eagle bear and and bighorn. Yeah, no.
Your mom sent us to bring you home. Are you hurt?
Now that would be streamer luck.
Flooding into the building from the street.
Get down there and take care of him. I got Eleanor.
And it is a leak. I don't know what CRP is. I just got all the running it is bad for. Wait. I just got told not running that is bad for an Eclipse mill. Oh, Scorpio. I haven't seen it ever either abbreviated to that, but that's they were talking about the Scorpio. You generally on Eclipse you either run Scorpio or you run capacitor. Both of those are really good tools for Eclipse. But yeah, the SCRP. I mean, technically, yeah, if you take out the I's and the O's and stuff, that will. But I feel that's also like it's. They typed out 4 letters. The entire word is 7. I was load that last 10 seconds out of cover. Yeah, but you start no. So when you go out of cover, it starts decaying right away. It doesn't stay at that 10%. It doesn't. It used to in the past instantly drop off. Nowadays, it doesn't instantly drop off anymore, but like decays out. So that means that once you're out of cover, very quickly, it will just have been less than what you would have gotten by. Actually, I don't know the answer to this. Do I get increased? Likely, I would. Yeah. We gained increased RPM. Oh, also actually the reload speed is affecting how quickly it resets there. The one things with miniguns and stuff is that
Manny,
they're
get
basically
Odessa on the line.
transitive,
Patch her
so
in.
if you
Odessa?
have
Kelsey
you're
has some
running
news for you.
negotiator or something,
got
you can
Eleanor.
mark
Is she okay?
with that whenever you're critting and stuff.
She's okay. I'm bringing her home.
Oh, good. Oh, thank God.
Perfect measure seems like worse
See
than
you
normal one. Overall, it is better as a talent. It's on a worse cut. It's kind of the issue with with the apartment. The time that are 17. Let's actually maybe bang out all 3 of these missions, kinda get a feel for this. But I'm just gonna swap to an LMG for this one. I should go get that Petrov backpack. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go get that Petrov backpack quickly. As it's good. Kid guided there as well. Needed, but it's a good choice and status clips, exactly. Although I would say, yeah, you either put in a Scorpio or a capacitor. Both are so strong tools that it's mostly like you would run both if you could. That's kind of, you know, that just because of the limitation of one exotic at a time that we don't. But also, yeah, it's something that really does help the build, but it's also not like, if you don't have it, maybe try farming for it, but it's not like you can't run the build with that, right? That's already as well, actually. Gear dye this. And yeah, of course, on this Umbra set, I've put Umbra, the Umbra colors. MG5 with 1 crit damage, 1 crit chance. Actually, let's put the Lexington as a secondary. Let's run it with an LMG for this one. Look at Island, and I've had 8 people tell me 8 different things. No idea what build is even worded now. It depends on, well, so for legendary, if you want to do it depends as well. If you're talking about solo or in groups, for in groups, which is the recommended way of doing the stronghold legendaries, especially, they are much harder solo than they are in groups. So I'll link to the recommended build list there. There's actually a segment at the bottom, which is for legendaries. And generally what we run for legendaries is always the same almost. And that is an Eclipse set up to be a foam Eclipse. And for that one, yeah, you would kind of want the Scorpio with it. But yeah, an Eclipse set up to be a foam Eclipse. For Roosevelt specifically, I would go with the BTSU glove, because you that's one of those missions where there's a bunch of big fights that are kind of less controlled. So you go with the BTSU glove and a healing hive together with the foam, and kind of be foaming and healing. And then the rest of the team is basically damage dealers. And preferably just strikers is, of course, an obvious pick. What happened here? Why am I not holding an LMG?
Black Tusk are going after the Shade node. If they get to it, just get in there and stop them.
Reconnecting.
No. While you're reconnecting, let me charge up my laser. I didn't turn on any directives. That's fine though. It's just get through here. Don't care about the XP. It was kind of annoying to not be able to pause. But actually here would have been benefit because this boss fight is... we run around quite a bit. So. Yeah, I'll run this with the LMG. Just to get accustomed to this as well. Then actually I'll run one with a rifle. And also with the rifle. I think then in the evening when we do it, I'll do the rifle one with...
Warning. Unauthorized network access detected.
Damn, they've already reached the
with the modifiers on, and then we can also have the spotting drone. Because if you're going MG5 especially, you want to have gunner. That AR one like really didn't care what specialization it's on. So it could be anything. But then for the rifles, yeah, it makes a lot of sense to have the extra headshot damage and the stability from that, and then we can also have the spotting drone be the thing we show off. I don't think anybody's left unaware of it anymore, but that's some RPM. %, from the modifier as well here. So.
Vital signs critical.
Also, I actually had to go on about the... if you're planning on doing it solo, or if that's the way... although you wouldn't be on an Eclipse likely at that point. There are some guides to that. Toasty, especially, has a good set of guides for that. If you search Toasty Division 2, Toasty Legendary, those will pop up. But in a group setting, that is like having a foam eclipse and then 3 damage dealers is the way we go with it. You could also do it with a healer. You can also do it even with maybe multiple people having a little bit of tankiness and stuff, or a PFE. All of those things are just so much worse, in my opinion. You're much better off just... but for that one, then basically the person doing the foaming kind of needs to know what they're doing. That's also actually a thing that Toasty has been doing, is making guides on how to foam each of the missions. I should just link to his channel, right? Should actually make a command for his YouTube channel. We already have a command for his. I'll put it in both chats here. But yeah, check him out for, yeah, he has also some solo stuff. He speedruns it, and then also he has guides on how to foam some of the legendaries. Here, for instance, Capital Foaming Legendary. That also basically shows all the spawns and stuff, because doing the legendary is very much about knowing. I almost failed this objective because it's timed for it. Never failed it, but yeah.
They're trying to access the Shade database. Let's hope you stop them in time.
Well, I almost failed it. I had 20 seconds still. I could have easily talked 20 seconds more. Which is disgusting, yeah. Although, yeah, vectors and stuff can of course go way higher. But yeah, FAMAS or like all the high RPM ones, Although the downside of it is as well, you kind of throw a lot of ammo at there, so you eat ammo like hell. Running Pestle with Umber recently, as I did not have any of the unicorns. Pestilence can fit with this and with Striker pretty well. I wouldn't per se... Although, well, I would consider Striker a better option if you want to make the most out of the Pestilence. The thing is, while the RPM here is nice, the crit damage is going to be... a little bit more. And then the thing is, on Striker, you can put a glass chest and have the damage up front. And also, if the damage, like if you aren't doing damage for 10 seconds. Here with Vigilance, sometimes that falls away, right? The way that glass doesn't. But then the glass, of course, has its own issues. So. But I've definitely been feeling... Although the Lengmo one, you also don't need per se the Lengmo chest for it. Because that's a hard piece to get, right? But but yeah, you're saying you don't have any of them. Yeah. The other ones aren't too hard to get. Like if you're just going for the sacrifice version, the one with the sacrifice chest. Honestly, I would expect it to be, you know, at most 10 countdowns or something, which... is still takes some time, but it's not undoable. Let's put some shock rounds into our secondary there, just in case. Invaded, of course, not a crate there. It sounds like Descent. Yeah, kind of. Oh yeah, this is one of the higher RPMs we had. The Feral Triangle is invaded. Can we change that? It remained invaded whole week. If you just want the... Like you just want to get it done and you don't want to do the invade version, you can just toggle it. Or oh, do you need it invaded? Because it's not invaded, right? Because no, the invasion is basically whatever the invasion is, the invasion is. You can't toggle other missions to invade it. But also, you wouldn't need to, really. Unless you need something very specific. But I can't think of anything specific that would require that. I kind of really like it with the MG5 here. Especially with the new reload speed on this thing, and then also, yeah, Umbra having its own reload speed. You know, this. Just waiting for that sniper dog to fire once, but it didn't. Because that is a consistent fast reload, and then yeah, 1 in 3 is the gunner reload. That's even faster. And then yeah, also we have the modifier, of course, giving reload. I grabbed the crate at the end. It's kind of thinking, and maybe. I see, got some link there. Once he's on that, when I reach max tier, bullets won't register on target. Much rate of fire. That shouldn't be in the range where hits reg. Because his registration starts to kind of break more so around, like, you need to reach around 3000 RPM, which is definitely wrong. But maybe it was just servers being a little overloaded. What we'll do here is actually blow up the 3 jammers right away. And then you can blow that one on the right side, as I kind of showed there through the... That'll be also in one of the upcoming things and stuff, as we've already recorded that segment. And the smart thing to do is, while you're reloading, to take cover. Yeah. Now, the downside of this is this. It's just way too much suppression. Because I don't think they also... All of the LMGs have a higher value of suppression. And... it's not too bad on this one, because this one was always hitting. But especially the M249, I feel, is kind of set to a different... Because it's per bullet that kind of is near to an enemy or hitting them. You get an extra kind of... there's a bar filling up in the background, basically. But I wish the M249 especially kind of had different values there. I don't think they changed those values when they gave it an RPM boost. That's enough for infect this game. Generally doesn't. The tick rate is kind of like server based and stuff, and running at 30 or 60 or 120 doesn't really make those kinds of differences, in the way that in some games, like, you get faster movement at different FPSs. But sometimes as well, in weeks, especially for instance, like, I'm gonna guess it wasn't that per se, but for instance, if it is in a week with, let's say, Golden Mullet or Reanimated, where the servers are at the edge of death most of the time, just because there is so much more, you know, the more people are at more higher RPMs or hitting as much as they are with kind of the oxy effect of Reanimated or something like that, or making a lot of explosion happen that also all hit all of the people around them, kind of with, like with Hollywood. Those kind of weeks, especially the servers are kind of overloaded, and then yeah, hit registration becomes worse. But that's also, for instance, weeks that Kenley was available because of the amount of oxying people were doing. But even then as well, because a session is usually, it seems to be 12 packs of 12. It kind of seems to be a server, is what has been theorized. It's either 6 packs of 12 or it is 12 packs of 12 per server. So it depends as well what those people, the other people in your server, kind of are doing.
We'll have to check the logs to see if they accessed any sensitive
Because yeah, if you're on a server that
okay.
doesn't have anybody, you know, in the time, well, kind of likely at this point is fixed, but in the past, like if half of your server is kind of in Kenleying it up, that will make for a much worse server than. Yeah, let's run rifles as well. Should have kept that Mark 17, I feel. Let's go grab it. On the way to DUA. Because yeah, likely here as well. We'll do DUA. I'll actually finish up the weekly for this character maybe, and then we'll end it there for now, and then I'll be back in the evening and we'll do the build showcase. Record up the build showcase. While we're here.
Nice doing business with you.
Where do I go? 6 CQB.
Oh, hey, Agent.
Let's go. Mark 17. So for this one, because we don't have a dedicated backpack, so Jessica. And then we're at 60 flat. Oh, yeah. What am I? This still hasn't like seeped into my soul. Because you can flip the crit chances. The crit damage is there. Yeah, we're 50 and 19. Because yeah, that wasn't an option for so many years. Let's review and using the sacrifice chest with repair skill and skill haste rolls in a support medic build that I've just said. One drop in countdown is the unicorn piece. I mean, technically it is a unicorn piece, but yeah, if it's a usable one, that is the second question. I think so here's the thing with even like with combat medics. We can let's see over here. So for instance, in the build collection, I have of course my own combat medics. Even when I go glass on them, the easier way is because you don't need the haste, or well, you can't have the haste and have good healing or a good damage because you need the crit chance crit damage. Looking for the combat medic on character 4. It ends up that you kind of more have this, where you have either crit chance crit damage and yellow core it, or for instance in this kind of layout. Because if you needed more repair skill, you can always put it in the mods. Is kind of the thing. So in the end, not very like you could use it, but yeah, it wouldn't be too useful. Although you could, yeah, use it as like a combat medic chest, but then you would likely flip the chance or the haste to a chance or damage. But generally, yeah, getting sacrifices that are crit chance, crit damage, and then being able to record them to yellow, that's more like what you would need for those kind of stuff. Yeah. Although, well, I mean, you can use the sacrifice because here, for instance, yeah, we're trying to do damage and then we're healing alongside of it. So sacrifice makes sense. But yeah, you wouldn't have the repair skill per se, because for instance on this one it doesn't have actually any repair skill. It is just the tiers helping it out and the BTSU. Oh well, that's the BTSU, but it has a 6 tier skills, and then the healing is more from that, and then if I really need some good healing, I'll overcharge it, or well, supercharge it even. Yeah, let's get this. Let's take all 3.
This is a chance to wipe out the hyena leadership in one decisive blow. Get in there and hunt them down.
One.
Every last one of them.
Because I want to have the spotter drone. And sharpshooter. Yeah, let me catch up here. Finished Lego Island. Just good man for being trying to SHD. Yeah, people are weird. People have weird ideas about what SHD is and means. Because yeah, as a saying that I use quite a lot is SHD means nothing. Rifles are set in this, right? Yeah, and they are set. Because you can't really trust anything from a SHD of a player. Because even low-level players could be exceptional players. Because, just starting at. But even
this is a chance to wipe out
quite often you can have people that are
Get in there and hunt them
20k
down.
and just
Every
make
last one of them.
horrible choices when it comes to builds and also how they just outright play. Yeah, they don't understand any of the basic mechanics of shooters in general, even like not even specific to Division or anything, but and versus somebody who's like level 300 and does understand the basics of shooters and positioning and, you know, the resource management that health and armor basically are. And just maybe even copies builds from, you know, people that that put it out there. They'll do much better than a 20k that is running explosive delivery on their chest or something. No, it wasn't tamper-proof. With strike. And we basically have the pulse back because it takes 3 of those pickups to get the pulse back. Most of these rooms are more than 3 people. Oh, actually, a spotted run. That's got that part. Let's really cheese this up. Back in the day, like way back, last game used to ampere healing since the issue was or still is negative outgoing damage and fixing. So yeah, that was the I'll take a God roll PDR detuck one. Even though not a useful weapon, but it'll go into the collection as a beautification in the AR collection. 3 exotics and something that'll actually go into my stash. That is an impressive day today. What was the talent that was used with the damage glitch back in the day to revive enemies? Because in my head it's like measured, but was measured something different then? Right then? Because measured as it is now wouldn't. Don't remember what it was back then. Because it basically did negative damage and it would revive by stacking the talent, which is what one of the original damage bugs was that got abused. How many chargers do I need? 3. 3-piece breaking point, ninja bike backpack, sacrifice, and 1-piece VIA makes sense for a rifle build. Not particularly. The thing is that, yeah, the backpack talent is like a lot. So, oh yeah, it's not amazing. The normal version. That backpack talent loss doesn't make up for like the pieces that you get to have in there. Also, that would be sacrifice. Wait, because wouldn't we be? Oh, to try to actually go for the 4-piece breaking point. You would actually likely go 2-piece breaking point with that, so that you get the 3-piece bonus, and then Fox's Prayer via sacrifice. But that would just straight up lose against. The thing is that breaking point is like not that good. One of the setups I'm gonna actually make in the coming days, week, Gonna get rid of the ninja bike headhunter with MMRs that I have and actually make a rifle one, but not with ninja bike. There's gonna be 3-piece Via, or no, 2-piece Via, 3-piece breaking point, and then 1-piece Fox Spray. And the thinking there, and then the headhunter. Because yeah, if you just need one stat anyway for headshots. 3-piece headhunt or 3-piece breaking point makes sense for the stats that you get from it in that way. And then so does Fox's Prayer, and so does Zvia for 3-piece, which actually is a common build at the moment already for 1886 and then headhunting. But yeah, in general, putting Ninja Bike in any build quite often is just a net loss. Unless you're really doing something with a blue and a yellow core.
Circuit breaker
And
detected.
quite often when you are, Memento would still be a better choice.
A little pick me up. How you like them now?
Charge it up all the way. And yeah. Umbra, I would say actually, if you want to go rifles, Umbra is likely actually the best pick for it. This or OD. OD is like when max stats 5-6% behind this. This with killer, that would say this, because of course it gets out the better talent. Well, then OD also has a group buff, so. So I can recycle the drone here. Getting into the rhythm of when I'm reloading, going into cover. Because that's kind of the thing with it. It's kind of same as with Negotiator, where when you start out with Negotiator, it doesn't feel great for the first little bit, because you need to be marking multiple enemies and stuff, and then it needs to kind of become a thing that you just automatically do. And then with Umbra, it is going into cover.
Not a chance.
Going into cover when you're reloading. And like being smart about charging it up. I have 3 pickups here. Can I recycle this round? Can my drone even go through there? No, it can't. Well then, we'll have to do it the old-fashioned way. One of the nice things about Sharpshooter is that flashbang. Like, it is actually really a cool win. And it's especially that it's a very large radius. Because that also means that even for instance, oh yeah, we don't get that wave solid. Even for instance, Is it? They spawn downstairs. The hunters in Canton, they usually just roll.
Still there, sweetie? Hello?
Rogue. Still there, sweeties?
Everybody get yourselves ready.
Rogue
This situation is
sweeties.
serious.
Yeah, I have some rogues. I'm gonna actually try with this red build. I might die, but if we die, rogues have, you know, it'll just put me here again. Normally, I would swap here to PFE, because that will guarantee an easy victory. But I'm actually curious here, because one of the things with Striker, for instance, in this kind of fight, you know, it takes a minute, or well, not a minute, but it takes quite a few shots before Striker is charged up against these enemies. But what I can do, of course, here is just charge up my laser and then go into it when I'm ready.
Hostile blinder firefly
And I
detected.
should have grabbed Scorpio, but actually let's try. Let's try with just the fire and my thanks. That works. And also that would have worked even faster if I had AR or LMG, because as we saw, the number differences between them is pretty big, especially the LMG. Although there, I'm kind of
Agent eliminated.
abusing the drone and this modifier. Oh, I need a pickup. Also, that's not a bad vector. Although I don't think I need a 45 vector at all. It's likely I'm just going to trash that one. They've been in cover already.
Game on!
Oh. Okay, no, that turret can't hit me. Let's go for the barrels of action. Let's just do this. Because it has two barrels, one on each side. They do a lot of damage when they explode. Take them the rest of the way. That's effective. That works.
Diesel, what's going on down there? Diesel, are you dead too, you inbred son of a bitch? Everybody get to the arena, now!
The Umbra definitely isn't weak. But a stacked striker is a stacked striker. It's hard to beat him. But that's then the thing that Umbra can do is just, you know, not be stacked.
Airborne
I'm gonna use
toxins
auto
at
run
unsafe
here.
levels.
That lets me run
Filters
straight
failing.
and not care about which direction we're kind of going.
Air filter function restored.
Also here,
Air
yeah.
quality
So I think we just get
acceptable.
these three, right? Like I'm gonna charge up my laser.
Listen up. We got devils in our
I'm
house.
hoping
that
the
mean
drone
to
can
kill us
follow
all.
through all these doors.
Stand and fight. You hear me? Stand and fight.
See if it can follow me if it can't see. Wait. Can't follow? I think the assault one can. Follow. This is also one of the annoying things with drones. No, I can't.
unsafe levels.
Thanks for letting me know,
Filters
Isaac.
failing.
That's a bad shooting. Also, I should have actually just charged up before coming into this fight. Because there's no reason not to. With their hand in front of my shots. Yeah. Dude, stop being on fire and actually jump down so I can kill you.
Holy shit!
I agree. Holy shit.
Taking out the hyena leadership leaves the faction in disarray.
I haven't run
Offense
Umbra
teams
yet
start securing the supplies and the
with this
equipment those
modifier.
bastards were hoarding. And now little Dessa know. The theater settlement will be able to rest a little easier now.
That extra RPM is kind of cool. Yeah, let's go finish up. I need to round it out so I can go eat and do some groceries and do some work stuff still. I still need activities in... No. Just in Federal. Let's go to the 5 in Federal. I want to do this one. Maybe we go from this route so we don't deal with this one. Let's go do that one. A bunch of black dust stuff there. So how long did this take, or how long did that take us? 60 minutes, it's not bad. With rogues on top of it as well. Because that is actually one of the few places, and a lot of other places when you get rogues, it's usually a shorter fight than the actual fight we're going to have. But there, it's the one room that in the invaded version, there is stuff down there, of course, but in the non-invaded version, in the normal version, that room is just empty, so...
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
Can't deal with this shit. Don't let them play.
Access key detected.
And just be aggressive. Usually my philosophy is just, as long as I have the hive, I'll be extra aggressive.
Hostiles. Coding
Whenever
location
I
nearby.
lose my hive, I'll slow it down a little bit. But while I have the hive, I might as well use it actually as a tool. Actually use it here and there. That's one. Let's go to this one. So that's north. So it's okay. Is there an exit on this? Oh yeah, there is an exit on this side. Oh, this is the, yeah, this is the normal accelerators. I get completely turned around where that thing was. Let's actually charge up Umbra most of the way already. It's setting the, it's trying to set the, yeah, the mini tank on fire. Kind of like with the, you know, EMPing a warhound. It doesn't actually aggro from that because it doesn't actually get big damage.
Incoming hostiles
Indeed,
detected.
got a KIA here. Yeah, you do. Just not in the way that they meant it.
Access key detected.
Oh, actually, we could have 2 pieces of Zvia. I like to have 2 pieces of Zvia. Definitely have a backpack. It might not have a mask. Because, yeah, we could increase our mag size with that as well. Although it still wouldn't beat Coyote, right? Because 2 10s basically would not beat Coyote. Let's go do Navy. You are not U.S. Army. Yeah, we're at Navy Plaza. What are you doing? Yeah, this is U.S. Navy Plaza. Oh, it's she'll have the excitement she's seeking in a second. There she goes. I'm fucking bored. Yeah. You wish you were bored in a second, because you'll be dead instead. Now, if you haven't seen what the spotter drone can do, this is a good showcase of it. Because yeah, I just see seeing a bunch of enemies by itself and just also getting me basically always at full momentum.
Serious trauma detected.
What did that one even do?
Just give up, asshole!
There's also something more here because this is more than just could actually put my, what was the exploding backpack?
Engaging.
We lost one!
Swapping sides like this,
Hostile detected.
because the kind of enemies do have kind of retention of where you were, so they'll kind of be looking that way. So you can kind of abuse their AI against them. Oh, that's heavy. But the healing on Umbra is just not per se worth it. And I'm putting the backpack on it is because I've seen sometimes people go like, yeah, no, the backpack is pretty good and heals you and stuff. The thing is though that we have 4 med packs, like those heal better. And then if you really want survivability, Bloodsucker is going to be much more valuable than putting the Umbra backpack. Kind of same with Heartbreaker. Like if you really want that extra bonus armor that Heartbreaker can give you, just put Bloodsucker, and it'll cost you less. Let's set up here. Let's call them in.
Reinforcements incoming. Detecting additional hostile contacts. Hostile control point nearby.
Let's go.
Heavily armored hostile detected.
Nice at the game too. Give me a foamer with that back. A little bit of body blocking going on there between them. Oh, we got him all. And if you haven't seen that before, that's the reason to not call them in right away. In a bunch of places, you can kind of spawn camp them like that, which means just don't call it in right away. Get set up for the defense. It's not a lot of, a few places you can do that. And now we just have to wait for these idiots to arrive. We'll ring the bell of over here. Actually, no, we won't, because that's an annoying sound. Do I have the... I mean, where is that flaring one? Right.
You really came through for us.
Should have gone with that. It's over here! Why don't I have that in my pack of emotes there? Should have that. So instead of spin that.
Supply room access unlocked.
Exotics for a rifle build, or should I not worry about it? Most of the exotics aren't too great in the rifle category. The thing is that two of the good ones, or well, two that are decent, the Vindicator and actually as well the Dr. Home, both are actually decent. But they are forced scope. They have an 8x scope, so when you're ADSing, you always have to be. It always pushes you into scoped view. Actually, in Division 2, so one of the things actually I noticed in Div 1, because you have even when you don't have like a scope that is gonna scope. Actually, on this one as well, I should do the underbarrel, the crit damage, so I have the scope still. But in Div 1, actually, when you even do that little bit of zoom, it actually takes you to scoped ADS amount or scoped like sensitivity. In Division 2, it doesn't. Actually, it's kind of nice in Div 1 because you can even with without the real scope, you can just have a little bit more less sensitivity. And be a little bit more precise by just using that. They should actually maybe make that a thing into. We need one more activity, preferably something quick, not. Because this one, I'm gonna aggro this whole thing as well. I have a bounty. Sweet. I'll do this challenging bounty daily. Ravenous though is from Iron Horse. Ravenous can be for very specific places a really good pick. Diamondback can be a really good pick, except that when you don't want to have determined. Like if you're going determined headhunter 1886, that's the pick, and then It's only really if you don't want to. And then it's actually pretty good. Diamondback is actually really strong. So there's a few strong picks, but none of them are just, you know, none of them is an Elmo. None of them is a, hey, just grab this and go. Because Merciless, for instance, well, has a way too big of a kick and has its own mechanic, and also isn't auto. Now that all the other rifles are auto. Well, not all. Its bigger competitors are auto. So generally for rifles, if you're going for like a shooty build, so crit chance, crit damage race, I mostly go with 6 CQB or these Mark 17s. These are my two preferred high-end rifles. The biggest drawback of the Mark 17 is that it's 30 rounds, but that's still okay. It has a fast enough reload that it's not too big of a hindrance. And the SIG is 10 rounds more, hits a little bit harder overall. But has much more, like this one as well, is actually really easy to handle. It kind of comes back to the center. Well, actually not when we're firing it at Umbra rates. I have to actually recoil compensate, but without Umbra.
Agent, target spotted.
Alright, let's finish off this. I'm just gonna leave that crate. It of course contains a 13 PFE, but we'll never know. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure my drone can follow me all the way.
That's the target, Agent. You got the target. Nice.
Hostile explosive trap detected.
Target down.
Got that.
Good job.
Oh yeah, these guys are challenging difficulty, so that's why they're melting extra hard. Don't need another SRS A1. Yeah. Yeah, and we got the weekly done here already as well. I got to put a little bit of playtime on Umbra, which I kind of wanted. Although it's not like, it's at its core, it's a red build. It's just a red build that you want tall cover for most of the time, and you just have to get into that rhythm
That's another
of
one down. Good job, Agent.
going in and out of cover. I'll dump that in the stash. I'll figure out later if I want to
appreciate the trade.
keep it or not. But yeah, we'll keep the Lexington in here. We'll keep the Mark 17 in here. I'll keep the pressure point in, or the goalie. And we'll keep this MG5 to run. Let's set it up in the AR version. Although, well, we did this evening too. And I still have that mask, right? And it's optimized. Yeah, it's completed. This will be the basic version. Will show it as.
Take a look over here.
feel like the skin that we have for the Mark 17 there are pretty. It's gonna. What's that called actually on guns when it's done on guns? Like just
Glad to see you, Agent.
because that has a specific name, but I'll be
Thanks for
damned if I
listening.
remember anything ever. That's already as well. Set up this weapon, otherwise this is gonna look weird. We're gonna set it up with its crit chance mods. And this one's also all crit chance. Yep. Set up here. Also, should actually think about where I want to do the intro and the outro and stuff. Umbra, does Umbra mean night or something? That's what it means, right? Umbra. Meaning. Oh, shaded. Vision cast by an opaque object. Especially the area on the Earth or Moon experiencing the total phase of an eclipse. Oh, so Umbra is eclipse. Okay, good. So we get 30% on the backpack right? We'll rule yours. But yeah, so shadow or darkness. That's Umbra. Maybe we do it in the dark spot in the UA. It's like a place that, well, I'll think about it in my break. Actually, in the background, I'm gonna go and find for us somebody to raid for in a minute on the Twitch end as well. End off here. I have a few people available. But I think, yeah, let's let's raid Stalker as he has raided me a few times. I haven't returned the favor yet, as I haven't been streaming much in the afternoons recently, as it's been a little bit more busy. Oh, Shadow Man. Yeah, I kind of feel like in Spanish and Portuguese or something. I've heard that word. I feel maybe in Portuguese or because yeah, that's usually things mean stuffs. But for now, yeah, we're gonna go raid Stalker on the Twitch end. I'll be back in the evening. That's gonna be in 4 hours time. And yeah, I might actually start a little bit earlier, like maybe in half an hour earlier, because sometimes that's nice with build showcases, but it kind of depends on how my evening goes. So, but I might start in half an hour earlier, and then kind of around 9 o'clock actually start with the showcase, kind of set up the things beforehand, and then yeah, we'll go and build showcase Umbra, record all that. That's going to be also the video for Friday at that point. So. Because I'll edit it Friday afternoon and then get it up for the evening. But yeah, that's all this evening. For now, we're just gonna run around to that. I'm just gonna hit the start rate here. Thank you all for joining me. Hope you guys had some fun and saw some Umbra already. We'll see much more of Umbra this evening. And yeah, thanks all for joining. And as always, have a good day.